Hi guys, how are you all doing? I have literally just got in from my very long London weekend. Well, not long, it was Friday to today. And I am now going to talk to you about this show, Miss Saigon. It opened last night on May 3rd at the Prince Edward Theatre, and I was lucky enough to have a ticket to go and see it, and it was I want to do a review of it of the show, but I kind of have to give you a review of an experience. Really, that's what it was. It was the Miss Saigon experience. Because I'd been to see the pajama game in the afternoon, and what happened was I went across to the Prince Edward Theatre, and I think I got out of pajama game for about 5:45, something like that. And so I walked over, and by then it was about just after 6 o'clock, and I stood outside the theatre waiting with some other people who were waiting to go in, and next thing I know I'm being interviewed for promo footage for the show by one cameraman slash interviewer and his sound man, and then we had some pictures taken. I had a picture taken of me with some other girls and our tickets for the official Miss Saigon UK Instagram social media guy. He was really nice. And then I think they let us in about 6:30 into the theatre foyer area, and I got my programme. This was £4, I think. Yeah, £4, and it's really cool. And I took some pictures of the cast board, and we have our Tam for the first night was William Dow. I think that's how you say his name. So I was really excited about that, because whenever I've seen it on the tour a few years ago, I had a girl with long hair. Both times, Sunderland and Manchester, it was a girl with long hair. And yes, I milled about after getting the programme, and I was talking to the theatre staff, and then eventually, because there were still people cleaning and pipes and stuff coming in and out everywhere, they let us up to the dress circle bar, and I went and stood out on the balcony, and I just looked out on the balcony, and I could see all these people. There were people lining the streets the opposite side of the road watching what was going on. There was loads of people queuing outside the theatre waiting to get in. It was incredible. The atmosphere was electric. And then after a while I decided to go back inside, and I saw that they were letting people in the auditorium, so I went into the dress circle, and I was escorted to my seat because I had a loge, and although I've sat in the loge before for Jersey Boys, I wasn't really sure where my seat and my loge was, so there was a very kind front of houser who showed me to my seat, and I was on the right hand side in loge 3, and I was in the 3-seater box. So I was the first one there, and I was eventually joined by 2 really nice young men, and my view was pretty awesome actually. Yeah, I'll talk about my view. The view, it was side on kind of, but I could see everything, and after the Dreamland sequence when Kim's taking Chris up to her room, I could see them making a start up the stairs, but then I couldn't see them for a bit, and then I could see them going to bed. But yeah, if you were any further on that side, like in the dress circle proper boxes, you wouldn't have been able to see that at all. The seats were filling up so quick. It was so interesting people watching. And then, like I said, I was joined by these 2 really nice guys, and the show began eventually. I think it was just a little after 7:30. I can't quite remember now. It started pretty much on time, and wow, the set is the same set as the tour from 2004, 2006, and I quite like the set, and I think it's great, and it's easily movable, and it's different to anything that's been done before. John Briones as the engineer is fantastic. I saw him on tour a few years ago, and as the engineer he's just great. He's got the right amount of sleaze, but he's funny, and he can sing. An American Dream is perfection. Loved American Dream. He is so good at that, and you can see he was really having fun with it. About halfway through, you could see him concentrating, and then he just sort of seemed to let go and enjoy it, which was fantastic. Eva Noble-Zada as Kim. Wow, what a voice she's got, incredible. I really liked her Act 1 Kim, like before the This Is the Hour song. Like, her chemistry with Alistair was fantastic, and then her later scene in Act 2 with Ellen was pretty awesome. The only thing I didn't get from her was the feeling of when she was a mum. When you found out she was a mum, I didn't really get like in her voice. She didn't convince me as a mum. But saying that, she is only 18, and I think that is something that will come to her as she has time to grow in the role, because obviously this was the first time she's played it publicly, and she can only get better, let's face it, she can only get better. Her songs, her singing, her acting choices, they're all fantastic. Yeah, she's more awesome, and I would love to see her again. Alistair Brammer as Chris, I was sorry, I've got a really bad throat now for some reason. I've been fine all weekend. Alistair Brammer as Chris. When I first heard he was being cast as Chris, I will be the first to hold my hand up and say I was dreading seeing him as Chris. After last night, oh my god, I am totally changing my mind. I'm taking back all my words, anything nasty I've ever thought or said. He has changed so much since his Les Mis days. His voice is a lot stronger. It's not as shaky as what I felt it was in Les Mis. He's strong, he's powerful, he's got that he's got the wet protective Drake thing going on. And then in Act 2, when he is explaining to Ellen about what was going on all those years ago, the tenderness of him, oh my god, wow. Why God, why? Oh wow, what a scene that was. I couldn't take my eyes off him. I'm so pleased now that he is Chris, and I'd be happy to see him. He's just, yeah. Who comes next? Hugh Maynard was John, and again I'd seen Hugh many years ago on the tour, and I was excited to see him back as John. I've wanted to see him as John again for a very long time, and he did not disappoint. He was pretty awesome as well. He plays John, who is Chris's best friend, played by Alistair Brammer, of course. And yeah, his big number is in the beginning of Act 2 called Buidoy, and he started off really well with that, and I like that. He did some really crazy riffs at some points towards the end of that song, and I was like, I don't want him doing that. I just want him to sing it. And then some of the riffs I liked, and some of them I didn't. And yeah, he was great, you know. Tamsin Carroll as Ellen. I love her new song. I think her new song is going to take a little while to grow on me, because after all, we've had It's Her or Me / Now That I've Seen Her for the last 20 years, and that song's very well known. So this new song, which sounds completely different to that, it's going to take a while to sink into the minds of people, and I think it really works for Ellen because it explains what's going on in her head better, I think, and it's a lot less selfish. I find the first song quite selfish, because she's always on about just wanting to keep Chris for herself, but you can sort of see her reasoning. Another thing about her new song is that it kind of smacks to me a little bit of Suddenly from the Les Mis film, the one that got written for Jean Valjean. It's kind of like that a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. I liked Suddenly. I thought it was a good song, and so maybe is also a very good song. And Rochelle Angor as Gigi, she's very good. She's only got one main song, which is Movie in My Mind, but wow, yeah, and I did notice her in other parts of the show as well. Like, she really stood out for me as an ensemble member. And Kwang Ho Hong, I think, Tui. Let me have a look, I'm just checking. Yeah, Kwang Ho Hong as Tui. He's really good. I think he needs a bit more work on his diction, and some of his, the way he was delivering some work. It's more of a language barrier, I think, really. There's nothing wrong with the way he portrays the role, and I know he played Phantom in Korea, and he's a big Korean musical theatre star / concert star, and I think he's really good as well. He just needs a bit more time with the role and to get the diction worked on. But yeah, I really can't think of a bad thing to say about this show and about the cast. I think it's amazing. A lot of the songs have had lyric changes, or words have been changed, or some lines have been dropped from songs and speech and others added in or whatever, and it works really, really well. I am, like I say, I'm so glad this show has made a comeback, and I think it was the right time for it to come back. And yeah, after the show, Cameron McIntosh was meeting people in the back of the stalls in the theatre foyer, and I didn't get to meet him because I went round to stage door and I spoke to Simon Hardwick. Oh yeah, also, even before the cast came out for curtain call, people were on their feet standing ovating, and the helicopter, you could hear this groan when the helicopter came on as a projection, because they had a projection on the tour, and everyone was wondering like whether the helicopter would show up, and so there was like a audible groan when you hear the projection, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this real helicopter came out, and that got like applause. And I think some people said there was a standing ovation for the helicopter, but there was definitely applause. I didn't see anyone stand up though. And seeing Alistair Brammer hanging out of this helicopter as it's flying through the Prince Edward Theatre, it was like, wow, I've never seen anything like it. An American Dream, the set with the Cadillac and the Statue of Liberty head thing, wow, you know, the set is incredible. There's so many set pieces, it's a wonder they've got room backstage, really. Absolutely phenomenal. And I realise now that I've been talking for ages and ages and ages, so I'm going to quickly wrap this up. I did go around to stage door and I met Simon Hardwick, who was the dance captain, and I quickly had a few words with him, and he was really nice, and he's so full of support for the show, obviously because he's in it. But yeah, he's hoping to get on soon as a GI. He said the cast have all been working really, really hard, which I can fully believe after last night's performance. Alistair, I didn't hang around the stage door long because basically it was like a mob scene. There's about 200 people, most of them Filipinas, I think, who come for Rochelle Angor because she's a big pop star over there. And I did get a quick photo with Alistair, but after that, really, I had to go because it was like crazy and people were pushing others into the road, and as soon as anyone came out the door, they surged on the door so no one else could get out after whoever was coming out the door had come out. And it was a little bit dangerous and a little bit scary. I did feel sorry for Eva Noblezada because she's only 18, and I was watching and people were literally pulling her this way and that way. Photo! Smile! Smile! And the poor girl's like going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, not going like that. She was smiling and she was like enjoying it, but she looked like she was enjoying it. But I'd have been scared out of my head if that was me. I'd be like, whoa, back off, please stop crowding me. So yeah, I really want to go back and see this show again, and hopefully I will. I don't know when. I'm thinking maybe November, before I go to Disneyland Paris in that week. I want to go see it again, and I might do the day seating thing. I will explain the day seating policy No, I'll explain the day seating policy now. Basically, there are 23 front row day seats, I think, for Miss Saigon. And what you do is you queue up to the box office by 10 a.m. and at 10 a.m. when it's open, you have to take some photo ID, like a passport or a driving license, and you show your photo ID and you get given a little voucher slip, and then you have to go away, and 15 minutes before the show starts you take your little voucher and your photo ID back to the box office. You are then given your ticket and then you can go in. And I love this system because it stops people selling their front row tickets straight away to like ticket scalpers, and ticket scalpers selling them for like 3 times the price. And the day seats are only £20, which is a real bargain. And apparently the front row is a pretty awesome view because the stage isn't that high either, so that's really good. So yeah, I will say this, if you day seat for Miss Saigon, you won't get your ticket first thing in the morning like you do for some other shows like Wicked. You have to come back to the box office 15 minutes before the show starts. So yeah, that's basically their day seating policy. So please go and see Miss Saigon. It is absolutely amazing. I would like to see the other Kims. Tanya Manalang is the official understudy, is the official alternate, sorry, and Julia Bueva is the next cover, the understudy. So if I see Eva next time, I'll be happy, but then if I see any of the other Kims, I'll be equally happy, because being 18, Eva is still studying, so she's only doing 4 performances a week. Eva is only doing 4 performances a week, and Tanya is doing the other 4. So when you go, you've got a 50-50 chance of getting Eva or Tanya. So yeah, let me know what you think of Miss Saigon, guys, when you're going. Have a wonderful time when you are there, and yeah, have fun. And yeah, just keep the heat on in Saigon, really.